I visited Tul Seleng, or however it's pronounced, in Phnom Penh. S21, it was the place where thousands upon thousands of Khmers were tortured and killed. It's really, I guess, well set up, is one way to put it. It's simply the school that was there where people were brought to, tortured, and were killed. Now there's tour guides available. There's an audio thing you can wear that takes you around. And I decided to do neither. Now, upon reflecting on the whole thing, I decided to title this blog post that Pol Pot was a loving husband and father, because in reading about his daughter's wedding and some other things, that seems to be the way things were. I'm sure, or not sure, but I would think as well, his mother probably could tell you plenty of wonderful stories about the man. And the title goes back to many years ago when Ajahn Sumedho, during a Desana, an evening talk, talked about how Pol Pot's mother must have loved him. I think for people who've fought in wars or people who have seen tragedies, places like this have a different impact, perhaps a different meaning. I don't know how to explain it. I think for anyone who goes or visits Phnom Penh, this and perhaps the Killing Fields, which I haven't gone to as yet, but may or may not go in the near future. It also, having listened for some time now to people talking about the upcoming elections in America and the lack of positive speaking, or I guess to put it simply, I don't find anybody seeking solutions. I see a lot of people accusing, pointing fingers, and pointing out problems, and that the other side is useless, and the people on the other side, whichever that other side might be, are useless and are the problem, not part of the solution, whatever the case might be. But getting back to S21, in the second compound, there are cases of skulls and some body parts. And having meditated for some time, and there's different types of meditation, and I forget, I think one's called Usaba, or looking at the body for what it is. I kind of sat there for a good while, maybe a half an hour, just outside there, reflecting on, that's the same thing that's inside me. It's inside all of us. We're simply, this collection of bones, joined together, and a skull, over which goes the skin that, we find either attractive or not attractive or whatever. And then there's muscles and stuff and all the stuff and body parts on the inside. That's all that's really there. And after that, before I left, there was a nice breeze. And over the years meditating, I've always, I found, like sitting facing the shade and a beautiful breeze, and then feeling, the heat on the back of my neck if the sun's back there, or whichever way around. It's very, very strong for me to meditate on those feelings, and the skin and the hairs on my arm, the hairs in my nose, and the hairs in my mustache, and all of that, feeling the wind, and just simply experiencing those feelings and those things, and then watching the people. And for many years in Vietnam, I saw a lot of body parts, and I saw people with their stomachs and bodies ripped open, and the inside parts sticking out, or coming out, or whatever. And seeing us for simply what we are, this collection of parts, of bones, of muscles, of fiber, of appendices and stomachs, and all of this stuff. And when you get down to it, that's what's there. And when it rots, it simply rots. Ajahn Sumedho once talked about, and I've watched it in Thailand at cremations when they were more often just outside, and the fat dripping off the body and burning as it hits the ground. And seeing things for conventionally the way they are, and I guess the Christian thing, we were dust, and to dust we shall return. And how, as people, we have this opinion of others and of ourselves, and we forget that Pol Pot's mother loved him, and his wife saw him as a loving husband, and his daughter saw him as, and I guess as this thing, because I have to keep it under 10 minutes because I haven't gotten the paid one, how we tend to judge people and put people into categories and into buckets and into places that are convenient, instead of just looking at those actions and looking at, it's, I call it, verbs. It's the verbs that count. People being helpful, people being, in Thai, it used to be called krang jai, a phrase you seldom hear anymore. But putting other, waiting so somebody could walk by, or stepping out of the way, or waiting until, letting their car pass, or helping them. And it's it's the actions, and I don't understand the whole, we're the sum of our actions. I don't know how you add the pluses and subtract the minuses and all of that. But it's just the world we live in, where people are constantly judging the actions, or creating places for the people based on their actions. And looking at what's going on in Thailand, I'm sure the present prime minister, it probably is a loving husband and things like that. So it's, I guess, I'm offering a reflection to everybody that listens to this about simply taking the time to reflect on those things that we see and hear, and getting some value out of everything that we see and hear. And yeah, that's about it. Y'all take care. Bye.